Welcome to Scene-Cast powered by Commercient. My name is Heath McKnight. Today, I am speaking with Kayla Hasler at Abelian. Kayla, how are you doing today?
Hi, Heath. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, thank you. So tell me a little bit about what you do with Abelian, and then also tell me what your company does.
Absolutely. Um, like Heath was saying, my name is Kayla Hasler. I'm the digital marketing manager at Abelian. I've been with the company for a little over 3 years now. And basically, what I do is I develop our marketing strategies, our campaigns, as well as nurture all of our partner relationships. And basically, at Abelian, what we do is we're a Salesforce consulting firm. So we'll have teams of all sizes come to us, and basically, they really need help setting up their Salesforce ecosystem, kind of align with their goals and priorities. And we basically help define those priorities for them and set up solutions for them that are really going to help scale their business.
Excellent. As the digital marketing manager, now as somebody in marketing,
Mhm.
I would say in the last 6 to 8 years, we've seen, in my opinion, such a huge shift. And it really began with the rise of social media, particularly Facebook, Instagram, et cetera. But I really feel, based on what I've been reading and what I've been seeing over the last 6 to 8 years, just how much marketing, there's still the traditional side, but how much of a shift it has gone to digital. And I was just wondering if maybe we could talk a little bit about where digital marketing is, and then the tools that Salesforce provides small, medium, and even enterprise level businesses that can help with marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I completely agree. Traditional marketing is still always important and will always be, but I think we're going to see more and more just the digital landscape continue to rise as it's been over the past few years, especially as it relates, I would say Google Ads is a huge one, and really makes it, I would say, easy for businesses to generate a lot of inbound leads. And I've even, I've spoken with different teams where sometimes they say that's all they're doing to generate inbound leads, which shows you what a huge ROI that it can provide for some businesses. Depending on how their business is set up, it can really work for them in that way. I would say like the really important thing that a lot of businesses can take advantage of is really knowing their audience when they're setting up these kinds of campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing I think that teams need to remember is really like thinking from their audience perspective. How are they going to be, what are they going to be searching for when they're going to Google, as far as like if from a keyword perspective, and then understanding like when they hit your landing page, really taking advantage of the opportunity. You pay sometimes a lot of money for just a click, depending on what your keywords are and how competitive they are. So I think it's always really important to understand, do you have your landing page optimized when someone comes to your page? Because you have only just a few seconds to get them to fill out a form and to
Yeah.
grab that lead. So I always like to think, am I connecting with them? Am I
Mm-hmm.
aligning with them with what their problems are? Am I providing empathy in that way, even just from a page point of view, before they even spoken to your company is really important, because if you're not making that connection with them on your website, they're never going to fill out a form. And really convincing them, you're able to provide the solution that they're looking for. So I think getting almost into character and thinking from, that persona of your target audience, and thinking, okay, like what are they really going to be? What is their feeling when they're coming to my page? What brought them here in this moment? What frustrations, what pain points are they experiencing? And then really look at your page and like, am I matching that when they're coming here? And am I providing that solution? And am I giving good social credibility? For example, providing really strong testimonials that are going to align with, what they're looking to hear, that, oh, someone else in my industry experienced this problem and look how they've helped. So
Mm-hmm.
I really like to think of that when looking at, Google Ads. And it's really a great tool for teams once they've got their campaigns really dialed in. It can be a really great tool for them to use as far as the lead generation perspective. And same with social media ads. I would say like Facebook and Instagram, it's different from Google, but there's some really interesting ways on how you can target your audience. So Google, it's more of like your audience is coming to you and
Mm-hmm.
they're searching for you, whereas Facebook and Google, you're coming to them and showing them your ad. But the way that Facebook and Instagram allows you to do that by really targeting, from a demographic perspective, from their interests, from companies, from education. So if you find, hey, I found a group that's really interested, say you're a marketing company, and I want to target marketing, marketing personnel, such as like, both of us, I would say maybe I'm going to put out an ebook ad, top 10 tips, to succeed in social media marketing or something like that. But they can, they can target us because say we've joined some marketing groups, or they can see like maybe there's an educational background or different things like that. So it's really interesting how the different ways that you can reach your target audience, both from a Google ads, I would say, and social media ads. And something that I always really like to look at when conversions happen, especially on the Google ad side, is I really always like to ask a bunch of questions. Why did this person convert? Looking at their business, but also looking at what keywords did they convert on, time of day, and looking at all of these different metrics, because I think all of that information just kind of helps you get more and more and more informed. And then kind of circling back to Salesforce and the different marketing tools. So Salesforce has Marketing Cloud and Pardot. Marketing Cloud is really targeted toward B2C companies mainly, and Pardot is more on the B2B side. But basically, I mean, you can integrate these different tools with Marketing Cloud and Pardot, depending on what your business needs. But basically, they really set you up for success to kind of bring all of it full circle. So you're not, you may be working with a few different tools, but at least you can see, you can set up a Google ad connector in Pardot. So that way you're able to have, still one view of kind of what's going on with your systems. And then even leveraging things like Social Studio within Marketing Cloud, to keep track with, social media. So there's a lot of different integrations that work with these different platforms with the Salesforce suite of marketing tools. But I mean, we've definitely helped a lot of teams really dial down their marketing automation. Usually they'll come to us, they need like a Sales Cloud implementation, and then we'll work with them and kind of take a look at their marketing and saying, well, marketing and sales work really closely together, and say, okay, can we get your marketing automation, up to speed now that your sales cloud is aligned? And so we'll kind of go in, basically look at their current marketing automation systems and see, what needs to be kind of replicated on the Salesforce side, but also what are we taking to the next level? What are their ultimate goals? And then how are we going to reach that for them, from a marketing automation perspective? Just to make sure that basically like marketing and sales are working as closely as they are together. For example, I really like in Pardot, B2B companies, they can really take advantage of the scoring tool. So basically, we can set it up so that your marketing assets, anytime someone is engaging with your marketing assets online or through email or whatever the case may be, a score is going to get assigned to that prospect. And then we can set it up so that an alert goes to Sales Cloud and is alerting the sales team, hey, this prospect, they're really engaged. Now is the time to go and connect with them. So basically kind of bringing it from like marketing qualified leads to sales qualified leads is what I really like about the two tools and how they can do it, and leveraging both of those platforms. But it's something that I'm really happy that we can provide for different teams and just kind of make their lives a little bit easier. Sometimes marketing automation and sales automation can be tough, especially when you're coming from a lot of manual processes and just getting started, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. But what we really like to do is really get to know everyone's business, and kind of make it very streamlined for them and understand how we're going to make things more efficient, how we're going to make things more accurate for your team so that you can make better decisions, and really help them get that reporting that they need to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that. I've talked to some marketing managers. I have a family member who's a C-level chief marketing officer of a fairly large company. And they always talk about the importance of not just, for lack of a better word, just throwing everything on the wall and seeing what sticks. Or like somebody even described it as, you're not doing your pinpoint, you're just spraying it around. and you're throwing away money on, for example, Google Ads, and you're not pinpointing, okay, who is my target audience? Have I created those buyer personas? And then with when it comes to social media, as I've seen talking to various customers, some of them say LinkedIn and Twitter do nothing for us, but we're so huge on Instagram. They're more retail, so they put a lot into Instagram and Facebook. And then we have other companies where they say everything is LinkedIn because of the B2B component. But again, companies sometimes coming into this kind of new era of digital marketing, they're just throwing it at the wall to see what sticks. And then they're like, wow, we are spending so much money and our leads are nowhere. We're trying to spend all this money on Google Ads and we're getting very little ROI. And sometimes it comes down to not knowing their true target audience. Maybe they know a little bit, and then the buyer persona, and not just one, but maybe two or three. And I was wondering, you were in it kind of what you said about getting to know your customer, which will help them get to know their customers. Do you ever encourage them to really focus on their target audience and maybe create a couple of buyer personas just so they're not throwing everything out there and wondering why they spent all this money on marketing with very little return?
Definitely. And I think that's something that, we like to know is like exactly who they're trying to target. We kind of work from there, when we're setting up these different, I would say like, different journeys that their customers could go through when they're interacting with their marketing assets. So really then knowing that it's really critical, and something that, definitely is encouraged to really just understand, okay, let's dial it back a little bit and really understand who are you looking to reach, so we can help you, and kind of working from that perspective. Because you're absolutely right, you can definitely spend a lot of money unintentionally and not see the ROI that you're looking for. But I would also say something that's really good to keep in mind is, any company that is experiencing that is, I would say, start small. And I don't think it hurts to maybe start with a few different areas, but don't spend too much right away. Start small, see what's taking off, and then capitalize on what's taking off. And then maybe later, when budget allows for it, maybe if you want to try something different that you wanted to explore and maybe add a little bit more budget to it, I think that's fine. But I think starting small in the beginning and then capitalizing when you see a campaign is working well, and really kind of going after that. But I also believe sometimes, if someone's not seeing a good ROI from maybe their social or the Google Ads, there's different things to look at. Like I was saying, especially like with landing pages, and also with the Google Ads. Like Google Ads, I think you can spend a lot of money on unnecessary keywords. So I think something, having someone really understanding how to manage those campaigns is crucial, and look out for things, unnecessary keywords. So I would say, setting things up like negative keywords, and kind of understanding, the conversion that happened. Was it an exact, match keyword, or was it a phrase match keyword? And kind of capitalizing on those different elements. But yeah, I think there's definitely opportunity to spend a little bit over, completely unintentionally. And I think also another thing too is that even once you get the lead from these different tools, is it set up for your sales team to succeed and quickly reach out? I think I've seen a lot of different studies about how basically the first one to reach out, from a sales side perspective, your chances of converting that lead goes up so much higher. So really it can be a game of time. So I think if your web form isn't set up to go and directly, notify you in your Salesforce that, you just got a new lead, that could be money left on the table. And that could also be another reason why their ROI isn't as high, which is something that we also help all the time, is getting, those web to lead forms set up so that it can be successful. And even doing, companies have different needs depending on their size. So say if they have a big sales team, well, like, how do they make that fair for everyone? And we can set up something called like a round robin, where it's basically, going kind of in a circle and reaching out to different sales team members, depending on where they're going to fall. And if, basically their turn to receive that lead. So, there's a lot of different elements that can go into this, but definitely something that we help teams do is really understanding, okay, well, let's dial it back and understand your audience and then kind of go from there and set up what's going to be the right process for you.
Gotcha. With Commercient, we're integrating, a variety of ERP slash accounting systems, everything from QuickBooks Desktop up to SAP and everything. And how does that help not only the sales team in Salesforce, but the marketing team when we're sending, say, sales order history, or if it's a company that has a variety of products, but they're B2B and something suddenly takes off and is selling huge, how can they tie that data into Pardot as a way to say, hey, listen, we have this product, check it out. What are kind of the importance of having that data coming over from an ERP to Salesforce, both Sales Cloud and the Marketing Cloud?
Yeah, I like the fact that, ERP and CRM, syncing together, it's really giving that, ERP, you have the back office, whereas like with the CRM, like Salesforce, you have that front office perspective. And I think, especially for enterprise level teams, it's really, it can be difficult to really manage and understand all of those things if you don't have a sync, done with your data, like Commercient provides. So I think understanding like what's the inventory, what's been the sales history, can be really beneficial in helping basically shape, what is going to be, the next best thing for us to do from like a marketing perspective. When you really understand, that customer's history, as far as like from an ordering perspective and different things like that, I think it's basically just kind of an empowerment tool that Commercient Sync provides, connecting to Salesforce, whether it be through Sales Cloud or through Pardot, is giving that history, that background really helps to shape, okay, well, it's even more data. And it's really just helping to shape, different ways to reach your target audience, I would even say, by understanding their history and what their life cycle has been with your business, not just from, interacting with your marketing assets, but even just from a buying perspective. I think that can be really helpful. And it just gives even more data for, someone that's doing the marketing administration or, on the sales side, managing out their opportunities, really understanding what's going to be beneficial from a history perspective with different clients. And being able to have that information so readily available with the Commercient Sync allows you to do with the Salesforce clouds, I think is only helpful. And it's just providing more and more insight and helping everyone do their job better.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Kayla. I really appreciate your time today and your insight. If you had a couple of tips, like just high-level tips for people who are companies, I should say, who are interested in kind of refining their marketing, what would you suggest to them?
I would suggest to them, basically, the first one would be look at what's currently working. Is you definitely want to stick with what's ever generating your pipeline of new leads. And I would say think about how you can make that better. That would be my first step. The second step I would say is how is your messaging? So that could be any point of contact. So from your website, your emails, your social media, all campaigns you're running, even it could be through Google Ads. Is your messaging clear? Because I think the biggest way to lose, prospective clients is if they're coming to your website and they're really not understanding fully what you do within a first, few seconds, they're going to leave. So you've already lost them. Same with your campaigns and your ads, and in your emails, you're trying to reach your target audience, but are you making it really easy for them to understand what you're going to do for them and what your company does? And are you making it, I would say, more about them and less about you and about how you can help them, and less about basically, I would say, sharing your accolades, but more of, really connecting with them and connecting with their problems. I would say, so making that connection really clear through your marketing and making sure that your messaging is clear. So that's something that I think that all companies can take advantage of, and just really just kind of do like a self-assessment. Like, am I making this clear for someone that knows nothing about my business when they come to my website? Have I made that clear to them in the first few seconds? I think that's something that, teams can all take advantage of that and just do like a little bit of a self-assessment in that way. And I think, the third thing would be is, how can I make this easier for my team members, to manage our marketing? And that can be through a number of different ways. So I would say even from getting their marketing automation set up for success, because I think a lot of manual processes can take away time from doing the creative, can take away time from, setting up campaigns, thinking of, different marketing collateral that they could be producing to help their sales team. So I think that when you kind of help them, basically, once you get their marketing automation set up, so they don't have to be spending so much time, setting up those processes themselves. I think getting that set up is really critical when it's the right time. Not good to overwhelm anyone, but when it's the right time, I say getting those marketing automation processes set up is really going to be truly beneficial to any team.
Awesome. Thank you. And how can our listeners and viewers learn more about Abelian?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can reach out to us at abelian.us and, just fill out a form there, or feel free we have our phone number on the website. Feel free to give us a call and we can set up a time to do a little discovery session.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Kayla, and have a good one. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.